do that, handsome. It'd be a shame to spoil that pretty face.
Is there anything I can help you with, Sir Hans?
Ah, Henry, the very man I wanted. There is something you can do for me. You see? I'm in love.
Ah, there's a new wench at the bathhouse, is there?
Watch it, Henry. This is the love of my life we're talking about, not some wench. The face of an angel, breasts like silk pillows to dream on, and good strong hips. A regular Helen of Troy.
Troy? Isn't that near Prague? I don't know anyone from there.
Never mind, blockhead. What I'm saying is, she's a fine filly, and you can help me win her.
Sounds like fun. I'm all ears.
You, Hal, shall be my messenger of love. You shall bear her a letter and a gift from a secret admirer.
Why me? It's not like you to be bashful, Sir Hans. You can just go and tell her,
Certainly not. Carolina is different to the others. She was educated in a convent and needs to be handled with kid gloves. Romanced. I must court her secretly. It's the latest fashion in France.
And who is this Carolina?
The fairest maid that ever walked the earth. Carolina. The butcher's daughter. You must have noticed a divine creature in the marketplace. Unless you're more interested in barnyard animals.
Carolina, I do know her. She's a pretty girl, all right, but, well, a little below your station.
Love knows no station but the heart. And you keep your peasant eyes off her. Your task is simple. All you have to do is get hold of a necklace fine enough to grace her lovely neck. I did have one that I inherited from my great-grandmother. Unfortunately, not anymore.
What happened to it?
I lost it playing dice at the inn. But you'll get it back for me. You're a smart lad. I'm sure you'll figure out a way. And I'll reward you handsomely.
Oh, all right then. Is there something else I should know about this necklace?
I lost it at dice in the Ledethko tavern when I was there to see... Well, that's not important.
So, some dice player from Ledethko won your grandmother's valuable necklace. Haven't you learned anything from losing to Zdena, the bathhouse wench?
My great-grandmother's. And as it happens, I have learned a trick or two. But that fellow has the luck of the devil. No doubt he'll still be sitting there, swindling other folk out of their hard-earned groschen.
Oh, what's the use? All right. I'll go to Ledethko, find this diabolical dice player and see what I can do. Though I'll probably lose my shirt to him.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
The dice player in Ledethko is pretty straightforward about what happened to the necklace.
Are you the one who played dice with Lord Capon?
Played and won, lad. A fine noble he may be, but he can no more throw dice than I can read Latin.
I can't disagree with you there. But look here, have you still got that piece of jewellery you won from him?
No, I don't. Some noble rode through here and we had a game or two. Only them dice kept falling his way. I was lucky to keep my boots. He's got the necklace now.
Did you know where this fellow was heading?
He was waiting for someone here, but when they didn't show up by midday, he rode on. He mentioned something about camping by the bridge over the Sassau River. That one before the charcoal burners camp. You might still catch him there with a bit of luck.
There aren't many fords along the river on the way to Sassau. Can you tell me anything else about him?
Fine gent he was, well dressed, on horseback. Had quite a lot to say. Seems he saw a bit of the world. And he had some interesting looking dice.
You said they fell well for him?
Aye, and no wonder. Fine dice they was, made special, all shiny and whatnot.
We could just leave and go to Sir Alphonse's camping spot, but it just wouldn't be fair to leave the dice player with loaded dice.
What's the matter? Come on! Look out!
Damn it, Henry was hoping to leave the bandits eating his dust, but that had gotten a wanderer killed. As bailiff, he couldn't just let that pass, could he? He also finds yet more brigands at the old camping ground, where the merchant Martin Vizek's body was still lying.
Well, I never. The pig comes up willingly. Lord! Won't take long.
This was indeed a dangerous corner of the world. Unfortunately, Sir Alphonse hadn't been aware of that, and he paid a heavy price for that.
Are you after something? I'm afraid my friend here won't tell you much.
Your friend? Oh, I'm very sorry. And, well, I don't want to be insensitive, but I was hoping to get something from him. My master's necklace, which he won at Dice.
Your master? Who would that be?
Well, Sir Radzig Cobbler of Skalitz is my liege lord. I'm Henry, but just now I'm helping Sir Hans Capon with a private matter.
Those are weighty names in these parts. I'm Sir Anselm of Domkey, in the service of... well, that's not important. I'd like to give you... that is... I'd like to ask you for your help.
I don't think I can help you. I've got a pressing task of my own to deal with.
I understand. But we can help each other out. You see, I think I know where that necklace might be.
You do? Well, I'm all ears.
The thing is, this is all my fault. I got held up on the way to meet Alphonse. By the time I got here, I found him like this.
God have mercy on his soul.
Amen, lad. I was heartbroken and enraged by turns, tearing my hair and cursing. Alphonse was my good friend, and it pains me to know he was only here on account of me. I brought him into a certain business matter to negotiate with some people, and he agreed. And this is how it ended up. When I finally pulled myself together, I took a look around and found some tracks. I followed them to the camp of those very brigands that Alphonse was supposed to negotiate with.
Nah, you can't trust anyone these days. So how can I help?
You can pass yourself off as Alphonse. Get into the bandits' camp and find that fucking murderer. And when you do, you'll find what you're looking for.
That doesn't make any sense. If one of them killed Alphonse, he'll know I'm not him.
No. They never saw him before. So whoever killed him surely took him for some passing merchant.
Are you quite sure they don't know him?
Aye. He moved in altogether different circles, among decent people. That's the very reason I asked him for help. So I reckon the best thing is for you to introduce yourself as Alphonse, have a snoop around, and come back to me when you find out anything.
Now, wouldn't it be better if you did that yourself? After all, I know nothing about this Alphonse. They'd see through me.
I'd do it if I could, lad. Only they know me, and I'm not on the best of terms with them. They'd most likely kill me on sight. Then the two of us would be dead and those bastards would get away with it.
Well, I hope I can avoid the same fate. Is there anything else I should watch out for while passing myself off as Alphonse?
The main thing is to look and sound like a noble, not a peasant. A commoner. So dress the part. No rags or rusty iron.
And how am I supposed to recognise the killer?
Ask around. I don't reckon anyone will admit to stabbing him in his sleep, but you might pick up some clue. You could have a look around for that necklace. Now that I think of it, they stole other valuables from him too.
Silver is silver, though. I won't recognise anything. Didn't he have something unique? A signet ring or chain or...
No, not that I can... Oh yes, he did. Dice. He had a set of dice made specially in Prague. It was his pride and joy. They were red and gold, bright and shiny. Not the kind of thing you'd overlook.
What can you tell me about Alphonse, so they don't catch me out if they start asking questions?
Indeed. A few details should suffice. He was from Slani, but lived in Prague the last few years. He advised people, very well too. He helped them to deal with problems, of all kinds.
Yeah, he sounds like a man of the world, but I've never even been to Prague. I'm not sure I can fool them.
You can always change the subject. He was an ardent dice player, God forgive him, and he spent some time in Moravia on the service of Prokop of Luxembourg. But that was ages ago.
What do you know about the brigands in that camp?
Actually, they're not just ordinary bandits. It's a robber baron and his band, Sir Erhard Baron Bielowitz, some of his vassals and maybe some commoners. They came here in the hope they'd have a better chance of keeping their heads.
Why don't you ask some of the local lords for help? I'm sure the Sassau custodian would lend you a few men.
There's nothing I'd like to see more than the lot of them strung up. Only I have a task that conflicts with that. And as for the custodian, I'm pretty sure Sir Sebastian is in league with Erhard.
What was the purpose of Sir Alphonse's negotiations? I'll need to know that.
Look, Henry, you'd best avoid that subject if at all possible. Just find the murderer for me, get your necklace, and I'll take care of the rest.
It'll be a bit hard to avoid that, since it was supposed to be the entire purpose of his visit.
True. Well, Alphonse was supposed to talk Erhard into moving his robbing raids towards Benishov, especially holding up merchants' wagons heading for Prague. In return, he was to offer a reward of up to 12,000 groschen and safe haven in Pilgrims.
I see. So you work for someone in Pilgrims?
No, neither Pilgrims nor Benishov, nor Vlachim for that matter. It's a bit complicated. Damn politics.
My word, the whole thing sounds like quite a twisted affair.
So are you going to help me?
I'll help you. I'll have to go there to look for the necklace anyway, and this seems as good a way as any.
Thanks 1,000-fold. And for the love of God, don't get caught. I'd never forgive myself if another man lost his life on my account. If it starts to look risky, take to your heels.
I'll bear that in mind. Could it be someone was trying to get rid of something here? Someone was searching for something here. Were they out to rob him of everything he had, or something in particular? Looks like he died without a struggle, maybe killed in his sleep. They took everything he had, money, jewellery, even his boots.
The half-burnt map he found was accurate, and after a bit of searching, Henry found the bandit's den. Now he just had to remember what Sir Anselm had said, and avoid blowing his cover.
Would I be right in assuming this is the encampment of Sir Erhard, Baron Bielowitz?
You must be Sir Alphonse, eh? All the way from Prague, eh?
Not at all, Goodman. From Slani.
Ah, well, that's quite a haul. How was your journey?
As well as might be expected in these perilous times.
Oh, aye. The roads ain't safe at all these days. There's all sorts of rabble waiting to rob unwary folk and even kill them.
Indeed, indeed, I concur. One must be wary, well, cautious even, when travelling.
Right then, but you'll have to wait a while. Sir Erhard is busy at the moment.
No matter, I shall just,
But it's easy to pass the time here. There's always a dice game going on, with nice things being wagered. I had my eye on a fine pair of gauntlets, and some old piece of jewelry.
Jewelry, you say?
That's right. Just go and see old Blaha, the fellow sitting at that table there. He can read, write, and do sums as good as any scribe, and other things, too. He keeps things in shape here a bit.
Thank you. I may well do that.
The mention about necklace as a bet in the dice tournament perked Henry's ears, but he decided to look around before he diverted his attention. There's a lot of breaches in the walls that someone could use to sneak in undetected, as well as an old grave, probably dating from when the place first fell to ruin. There's also a bag of loot that mostly contains women's clothing, that might speak to who the bandit lord's victims have been. But just aside from the welcoming gibbet leading to the rear entrance, there's an old basement. Exploring this leads to a ruined hut that's heavily guarded in comparison to the rest of the camp. Surely that's where the necklace is being held. The easy way to get the necklace back is to simply sneak to the treasure room by the basement. At night the guard is thinnest, and you can lure the guard into turning his back to you. But it would be a shame to leave all these nice dice in the hands of these good-for-nothing gamblers before Henry makes his getaway.
Tell me something about yourself.
You can also speak to the other gamblers and question them about what they've been up to. None of them are particularly savoury, and the killer isn't likely to be truthful in his answers. One of the clues to Sir Alphonse's killer is that his shoes and his dice were missing, and Ledethko has some very distinctive ones. But it's worth noting that shoes seem to be traded freely between the bandits.
Sorry, I traded them for booze yesterday.
They're all cheats like you might expect, and have loaded dice, but Ledethko seems to have a special set of golden dice. Sir Alphonse was also said to have a special set of golden dice, and it's unlikely that dice would be traded even if shoes were. But another way to acquire the necklace is to use the bandits' own dice against them.
You're a fucking cheat! Sir, I challenge you to a duel.
I won't take any accusations from you. I accept.
Some of them rightfully accuse you of cheating, but they can't win against Henry's arsenal of loaded dice. In the middle of the tournament, old Blaha will advise Henry that he can meet the Baron.
Sir Erhard will receive you now.
It becomes quite clear why the Baron was otherwise engaged when a woman of ill repute is seen leaving his hut.
They've got their loot, and now they want some fun. Booze, dice, and women. I'm the only girl here. They're more interested in dice, anyway. And boozing. And they're no fun at all.
You can negotiate with Sir Erhard, but if you've started the tournament, Henry can make his excuses.
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ upon you, Baron Belevets. I'm honored to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is mine, sir. We haven't had any interesting visitors here for a long time, and I'm keen to hear what news you bring. And then there's the matter of our trade.
Indeed, we certainly have much to discuss, sir.
Good. And how was your journey, Sir Alphonse?
Long and somewhat fatiguing, truth be told.
Ah, would you rather put off our talks until later?
No. I shall be glad to deal with our business right away, but I'd rather tell you the latest news later.
Very well. If you wish to skip the pleasantries, let's get down to business. From what I've heard, you have some proposal for me that would involve departing from Vlashim?
Yes, essentially. We need to divert attention elsewhere. To Benishov.
I know Benishov well. That could be done. And who are we to devote our attention to?
Merchant wagons.
Of course. How better to put the fear of God in the townsmen than to relieve them of their silver? Do you want us to conduct our business on any particular road?
The road to Prague.
That makes sense. Aye. And what's in it for us? If terrorizing folk is what you want, there might not be much profit in it.
I should think 12,000 groschen is a reasonable reward.
Very reasonable. We can certainly agree on that.
I can also offer you a safe hideout, if you should have need of it.
Well, it's always useful to have somewhere to lie low. Where is it?
In Pilgrims. A nice house you can use for a month or two.
It's not that far, but I like the sound of it. That's all acceptable. I agree then. Now we've settled our business, you can go and rest. We'll talk later when you feel up to it.
Thank you, Sir Erhard. I must apologize, Sir Erhard. I'm quite besotted by your splendid dice tournament, and I can't think of anything else. I fear I'll be of no use to you until it's finished.
I heard you had a fondness for the game, Sir Alphonse. All right. Far be it for me to spoil your pleasure. We'll talk later.
But there's also another clue available if you take the normal approach of just entering the tournament. It's very difficult to defeat Ledethko with normal dice, but you can call him out for a duel.
You cheated! I'll kill you!
Ah, a bit of fun for a change. The last fella I killed didn't even see me coming.
Ow! Stop whining and fight!
A pox on you!
I just want to eat and sleep.
Fuck it!
What's up? Shit yourself?
All right. You win. Now leave me alone.
You're free. Leave your weapon and go.
So be it.
Then there's Pekuna. He's a local fellow who brings stuff for us. He put up a nice necklace as his wager.
If Pekuna defeats you,
Congratulations. Fortune smiled on
Damned
you
if I
today,
know,
eh?
but the longer he
Thanks.
stays away, the
I
better.
was lucky, all right.
He's a
Here
fucking
you
mad
are.
dog.
You know where to find your winnings, right? But if I were you, I'd stay clear of Ledethko. You know what he's like, right?
I know, and I'll take your advice. I reckon I'll go to Sassau to celebrate. There's more to choose from there.
Good idea. Just don't drink it all away, eh?
you can either buy the necklace off him, or convince him that it is dangerous to have such a relic. Of course, you kindly take it off his hands.
I noticed there was one nice piece of jewellery. An old necklace.
Aye, a rare-looking gem. I'm curious how much I'll get for it.
It's only fair to warn you, though, that that necklace looks suspiciously like one that was stolen from Lord Capon.
What?
Oh, yes. Apparently he's been searching the whole province for it. If you should find out somehow that you've got it, I shouldn't wonder if you ended up on the gallows.
Jesus. Well, I suppose I should do the right thing and send it to him.
Well, I'll be passing by Ratoi. I can pass it on to him.
That would save me a trip, and maybe a visit to the jailhouse.
Let's not forget to share the results of our investigation with Sir Anselm. There's no definitive clue to who killed Sir Alphonse.
I have good news for you, Sir Anselm. I know who killed your friend. Who was it? It was Ledethko, one of the brigands.
How did you find out?
From the boots. They had to be Sir Alphonse's.
All right. I'll take care of it from here. And I owe you for helping me. Here, Henry, take this. I'm sorry I don't have more on me. But if you're ever in Prague, come and look me up, and I'll see you're well taken care of.
It's been a pleasure, Sir Anselm. Godspeed.
Ledethko is the most likely suspect, because he has the shoes and the dice. He also admits to his most recent victim being killed unawares. The shoes may be tradable, but these are gamblers and they wouldn't part with good dice so easily. He says that he hasn't been outside, but from what the other bandits say, it's likely he goes missing regularly and isn't to be trusted. Pekuna is the only other candidate because he provided the necklace, but it's just as possible that the real killer traded the necklace as barter for some of the goods that he brings to the camp. Maybe he's simply a great actor, but other than the necklace, nothing points to Pekuna at all, especially given how readily he surrenders it to Henry, and how that implies that he's not greedy enough to kill someone for it. But nothing stops you from blaming anyone, including Sir Erhard and the camp wench if you spoke to them.
They've got this wench at the camp. She's the one who killed him.
What, a girl? That doesn't sound likely.
She's a thief who's been keeping the company of cutthroats. No doubt she learned a lot of useful skills from them.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.